Welcome back to From Daggers to Daedra, an Elder Scrolls Chapter 2 Daggerfall Beginner's Guide. On this episode, we'll be covering traveling, towns, and shopping. So, you've successfully made it out of the starting dungeon, Privateer's Hold. If you have the tutorial on, it'll suggest that you head to the city of Daggerfall, and we're going to do the very same. If you press your travel map key, which I have bound to Y, you'll open the world map, and by extension, the travel menu. Here, you'll see the country of High Rock and a bit of Hammerfell. As you can see, the map is broken up into 44 smaller kingdoms, and you can freely travel anywhere you'd like. If you hit the iMap button, the kingdom you're currently in will flash red. Left-clicking on any kingdom, including the one you're currently in, will zoom you in and give you a better view. Let's click on the kingdom of Daggerfall for now, since that's where the city of Daggerfall resides. A small crosshair will blink to show you your current location, and you can hit the iMap button again to bring it up if you need. All of those little dots represent towns, dungeons, temples, and homes. The brighter the dot, the larger the location. Since there's so many locations, you can filter out what you're looking for by clicking on the buttons at the bottom of the screen. And, believe it or not, there are many more locations than this even, but you'll have to find a map or something to discover them. When you're zoomed in on a kingdom, you can also right-click to zoom in even further. Fast travel is an absolute must in Daggerfall. It takes far too long to directly travel from place to place, and the world is absolutely enormous. Not only that, but the space between locations is generally empty and bare. Go ahead and try walking directly south to Gothway Gardens. It's the shortest possible distance away if you want to see what I mean. Anyway, let's fast travel to Daggerfall. Once you've clicked on the Kingdom of Daggerfall, click the Find button. This will let you type in any location you know of or any dot on the map. Do make sure you click on the correct kingdom when you use Find, because Find only searches the kingdom you're currently zoomed into. Let's type Daggerfall. Click Yes to fast travel and you'll see a slew of options. The green boxes denote what you've selected for each option. Firstly, select the speed in which you'd like to travel. Cautiously will take you longer to arrive at a place, but traveling recklessly causes you to run the risk of arriving at night, which is something you definitely don't want to do in the city of Daggerfall. Also, most cities are walled off, and arriving at night means the gate is going to be closed, and you'll need to try and climb the wall to get in, or wait until morning. But resting outside city gates or elsewhere in the wilderness tends to attract the attention of monsters and thieves. If you're traveling across the Iliac Bay, you can hire a ship to take you from one end to another. This will greatly decrease your travel time, but cost gold. Finally, you can choose whether to stay at inns along the way, or camp out. Staying at inns costs money, but also speeds up your travel time. Alright, we've made it to Daggerfall, hopefully during the day. While we're here, let's do some shopping. Open your map once you're inside the walls and you'll see a key at the bottom of the screen. Blue buildings are guilds, orange are shops, and green are inns or taverns. You can click anywhere on the map to leave a personal note for yourself, or, if you enter info mode, which I've bound as F3 as your interaction, you can use your interact key to identify buildings while you're walking around, which will permanently mark them on your map. Try walking near a building, especially a guild, shop, or tavern, and press your interact key while looking at it. You'll get a brief description of it, and if you check your map, the name of that location will be marked. Whenever you're passing through town, it's a good idea to info mark buildings on your map by interacting with them while in info mode while you pass by. You may need to visit these locations later. Let's find a shop. There are a good deal of shop types. You've got your alchemists, armorers, banks, bookstores, clothing stores, gem stores, general stores, libraries, pawn shops, and weaponsmiths. Ideally, we want to find an armorer or weaponsmith in a general store. You can see little signs outside each shop to see what they specialize in. If a store is closed when you arrive, you can loiter outside the shop in 3-hour intervals, but you cannot rest inside city gates. You'll need to visit a tavern for that. You can press the status key, which I have mapped to I, to see what the current time and date is. Once you enter a store, you'll get a little blurb telling you about the quality of the store. The fancier sounding the store, the higher quality goods you'll find, but you'll pay the most there, and if you try offloading your goods there, you'll receive less. On the contrary, the more run-down sounding a store, the worse quality goods you'll find, but the cheapest prices and the highest selling prices for your loot. You could spend a bunch of time running around and finding the best places to buy, sell, and steal. Now, a quick note about interacting. If you're in steal mode, F1 for me, you'll automatically try and steal from whomever you interact with, or attempt to pick the lock on a locked door. This will no doubt alert the authorities if you're not careful, so make sure you're in the correct interact mode when dealing with people and doors. F2 for me is grab, and you can use grab for most normal interactions. You can talk to folk, purchase goods off of shelves, pick up items, and open unlocked doors. F3 for me puts you in info mode. Info mode is good for mapping, but little else. I couldn't tell you the number of times I've tried to speak with someone just to learn their name instead. Finally, dialogue mode lets you talk to people. As simple as that. Just make sure you're in the appropriate mode when interacting with things so you don't accidentally steal from someone and have a bunch of halts chasing you down.
Halt! Halt!
If you do get caught stealing or doing something else unsavory, you can try to run for it and skip town, fight guards, or submit and spend some jail time, after paying off your fines, of course. Once you've sold the things you no longer need by using the sell option from the various shopkeeps, I'm going to suggest you buy a wagon. Wagons will help you carry more loot back and forth on your adventures. You can make loot runs to your wagon mid-dungeon. It has a veritable ton of carrying capacity, and you can sell and transport things seamlessly to and from it with relative ease. A wagon is like having a larger inventory, and there are no drawbacks, so I suggest it to be your first major purchase. To buy things from a store, you'll have to use your interact key while grabbing on the various shelves. Once you're in the menu, use the select button to choose the items you'd like, then use buy to purchase them. Be warned that if you hit the steal button, there's no further prompt. You either steal, or you fail and the law chases you down. Feel free to peruse the shops while you're here. You know what, while we're here in town, let's talk about climbing. If you want to climb something, simply walk directly up against it. Climbing is a little finicky and won't work on some walls or if you're not aiming directly at the wall you want to climb. If you're looking a little left or a little right, it won't work. Try climbing a building or something. Better to practice now than when you'll need it in a dungeon. You can use your run key, which I have mapped to shift to climb a bit faster. Also, I'm surprised I haven't mentioned the run key yet. You can run, you know. Now that our pockets are fat, let's take a look at banking in Daggerfall. Since banks look like any other shop on the map, maybe we should ask around. Find the nearest person and interact with them with the grab or dialogue mode active. In the top left, you'll see we have options for Tell Me About and Where Is. If you select Tell Me About, you can get information and lore about various things, if the NPC knows and is willing to share that information with you. With the Where Is option, you can ask about specific locations, people, things, and work. There are a lot of options in location, but people and things are pretty much restricted to asking about quests. In the top right corner of this pane, you'll see the tone in which you are addressing this individual. Polite tone is governed by your etiquette skill, and blunt by streetwise. You can also look at how the person is talking to you to help tailor the tone in which you should speak to this individual. If someone is being blunt with you, be blunt right back. Sometimes this is the only way to get information that you're looking for. At any rate, tailor your tone to match who you're speaking to. So let's ask where is location, banks, the Bank of Daggerfall. You'll see that there are multiple because there are multiple banks in this town. If you can't get any information on where one is, try another as it may be closer. Generally, the person, if they know, will point you in the direction of where you want to be. Sometimes, if you're close enough to the location and keep asking them, they'll just mark it on your map for you. Then you don't have to worry about wandering southeast or something. Once you find a bank, let's head inside. Opening an account is free, but almost every kingdom has its own bank. That means if you deposit 10,000 gold to the Bank of Daggerfall, you will only be able to withdraw it in the region of Daggerfall. If you go to a bank in Wayrest, you'll find you have no funds available. You may recall that in an earlier episode I mentioned that gold has weight in this game, so you'll have to use banking at some point. Aside from simply being able to deposit and withdraw funds, as you would expect of a bank, there are some fairly unique and interesting things you can do here. The most important are the letters of credit. Letters of credit work almost like a refillable credit card. When you apply for a letter of credit, it takes directly from your account, and you will be charged a 1% processing fee. So if you're wondering why you can't withdraw your whole account as a letter of credit, that's probably why. LOCs can be deposited back into your account at any time, and can be used just like gold for purchases, and will be updated as you use it. That said, there are some services that will only accept gold. It's a much more efficient way to carry tons of gold on you, seeing as it only weighs as much as a slip of paper, but it's probably fairly rare that you'll need to carry heaps of gold with you, unless you're taking it from one kingdom to another or something. Another interesting thing you can do is apply for a loan. Your loan can't exceed 1,100,000 gold, and you must pay your loan back within a year with 10% interest. If you fail to do so, you'll lose reputation in that kingdom. There are a lot of kingdoms though, so you could theoretically skip from kingdom to kingdom, borrowing and paying loans off. You can use that loan to buy whatever you'd like, but the most expensive things are houses and ships. If you purchase a ship, you'll no longer have to pay a fee to travel around the Iliac Bay by boat. You can also sell these things back to the bank. It's pretty likely that while you were shopping about, you got handed a mysterious note. I had hoped to touch on guilds and questing in this episode, but we've covered so much information already, and there's plenty more to say, so I think I'll cover that in the next episode of From Daggers to Daedra. See you then! Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more Cyberphile content. And if you like this video, show me with that little thumbs up button. If you liked this video, you might like one of my other videos. You can click right on the boxes to jump to them. Cyberphile, offline.
Halt!